You are listening to SRM Insider. This is the Cyber Intelligence Briefing, your weekly roundup of the latest cybersecurity news and insights, straight from SRM's leading global incident response team. Welcome to another episode of SRM Cyber Intelligence Briefing. You're listening to Kyle Schwaeble, and I'm joined by my colleagues Miles Arkwright and James Tytler.
Hi everyone. Hello.
Today we will discuss how the UK and US have sanctioned Russian FSB cyber operatives. 2 US federal government networks have been compromised while NISN suffered a data breach. Microsoft has hired a new CISO. The FBI has issued additional guidance around new SEC reporting regulations. And we'll also look at rumors that the prominent ransomware group ALPHV, otherwise known as BlackCat, have been taken down by some law enforcement action. First up, the UK and US have imposed sanctions on 2 Russian nationals implicated in an ongoing cyber espionage campaign.
That's right, Carl. So the sanctioned individuals have been involved in carrying out espionage operations on behalf of Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, the FSB. They are both part of a group tracked by Microsoft as Star Blizzard, which has conducted multiple spearfishing campaigns against high-profile political figures and also government officials, as well as executives in civil society organizations and critical infrastructure facilities since 2015. According to the NCSC, the group establishes a rapport with its victims over multiple emails before sending a malicious phishing link. They often target private email addresses because these often have less protective measures in place in comparison to corporate email accounts.
Yes, that's right. And the NCSC has also noted that Star Blizzard often use EvilJinx, which is an open source phishing toolkit that's widely used by hackers in business email compromise cases. And here we know that using phish-resistant forms of MFA, such as Windows Hello or hardware keys, and also implementing conditional access policies to limit sensitive data to compliant devices are some technical controls that can help reduce the risk and impact of these sorts of attacks.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see the use of some of these, common phishing tools that we typically see with, financially motivated threat groups. They're also being used by some of these advanced persistent threat groups, possibly acting on behalf of a state. Over in the US, CISO has put out an advisory about threat actors exploiting a software vulnerability in an end-of-life version of Adobe ColdFusion, which is an application server used for web app development. The vulnerability was exploited to access 2 US federal government systems last June. It's always a sobering reminder of... Sorry, that's not what I would ever say.
Absolutely, Carl. I think that really highlights how important it is to make sure that all devices on your network perimeter are patched. You're employing proper network segmentation and enforcing multi-factor authentication where possible.
For sure. And in other news, Microsoft have announced a major shakeup of its security department.
Yeah, so Microsoft have replaced their Chief Information Security Officer and also their Deputy CISO. So this restructuring comes in the wake of a number of major security breaches that Microsoft experienced over the course of 2023. We saw a major data leak on GitHub and also the Chinese government-backed hackers compromising US government email accounts. So the new CISO will be responsible for delivering on Microsoft's recently announced Secure Future initiative, which aims at improving the frequency of cloud patching, elevating default software security, and also incorporating AI for advanced threat modeling and automation.
Yeah, that shake-up in people comes as Microsoft looks to implement major changes in its technology, and that AI development is certainly one to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And just moving on, NISN is investigating a cyber incident that impacted its operations in Australia and New Zealand. The car maker has warned customers about potential scams and is providing updates through its website. NISN's proactive approach stands in contrast to 23andMe, who recently had to warn up to 6.9 million customers that their data had been leaked in a recent breach.
Yeah, that's right. So back in October, the genetic testing company reported an impact to 14,000 customers, but that number has grown substantially after further investigation.
Yeah, and we've seen time and time again that effective and prompt communication in the face of a cyber incident really does help to minimize the reputational risk. But the impact of a poorly managed communication strategy can be even worse for organizations that host that really highly valuable and highly sensitive information.
Absolutely. And in regulatory news, the FBI has issued guidance on how companies can request delays to reporting cyber incidents on the grounds of national security or public safety. Under the controversial new regulations, which come into effect on the 18th of December, listed companies in the US will be required to report material cybersecurity incidents to the Securities and Exchange within 4 business days, although there is a 180-day grace period for smaller companies.
I think this really highlights how important it is for organizations to ensure that they're aware of their varying reporting requirements across all the jurisdictions in which they might operate. They should also consider engaging external legal counsel in the event of a breach, because these things can become complicated very quickly.
Yeah, and finally, we'll wrap up our review of the headlines with the news that there are rumors that the prominent threat actor and ransomware group ALPHV BlackCat was hit by a law enforcement takedown.
Yeah, so at SRM, we've observed that the ALPHV BlackCat leak site has been offline since Thursday morning, and this has disrupted various aspects of the threat actor's operations and negotiations with victims. The outage also hasn't gone unnoticed in the wider cybersecurity community, and over the weekend, rumors began circulating online that the outage was due to law enforcement action. However, we haven't seen any official confirmation from this to date.
Yes, although it's not confirmed yet, I wouldn't be surprised if BlackCat have been targeted by law enforcement. They've been pretty aggressive recently and have attracted quite a lot of attention to themselves since the attacks against the Las Vegas-based casino giants MGM and Caesar Entertainment. They're also believed to be the successor of another group known as DarkSide, who were taken down after they hit Colonial Pipeline back in 2021.
Yeah, and although when law enforcement succeeds in takedowns, they often share decryption keys with the recent victims, it remains crucial for effective organizations to still pursue alternative recovery plans, especially when threat actors are offline.
Yeah, of course. Well, that brings us to the end of this week's brief. I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next week for some more updates from the world of cybersecurity.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Till next time, goodbye.